Welcome to Freedom Queen Live. If this is your first ever Freedom Queen Live, say hello. In the comment section below, just say new, I'm new here. If you're an OG Freedom Queen, put FQ in the chat so that I know who you are. I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I missed you last Monday, but we had our Freedom Queen Live challenge happening, and that was one of our most successful challenges. We more than doubled our signups for that event. More than doubled it. It was one of the biggest challenges that we've ever run. We've had people joining our headquarters program. We had people getting tickets for our conference. We've just had people all over the world getting involved in Freedom Queen. So I'm very excited to be here with you today. Lauren's here, OG. Lauren's coming to our conference. My first live, amazing, iconic Queen TV. Tell me what your name is so that I know who you are. So I want to talk with you today about owning your zone of genius and how that's going to make you more money. And so one of the reasons why you might not be making a lot of money in your business or really growing and scaling to massive, massive numbers is not because you're not posting. It's not because you're taking all the action, right? Like put a yes in the chat if you're here with me live, if you are taking all of the action inside of your business, like you are showing up for the company. It's my first live here. Hi, Katie Rogers. Oh, okay, Linda. Hey, Linda and Katie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You guys were in our challenge. Well, one of the reasons why I see a lot of business owners never actually make a lot of money or really blow up, or maybe they have a quick season and it works really well for them, but then they end up like tanking, it's because they don't actually know what their unique movement messaging is. Your unique movement messaging needs to be so crystal clear that you could say it in one sentence to someone and they immediately understand what it is that you are providing to people. And so that's great. Like you could be making content, you could be making Instagram stories, but if it's not clear on the end destination that you're taking your customers or your clients to, and the vehicle that you're using to help get them there doesn't make any sense, they're always going to look at you and go, you're really cool, but I don't want to buy from you. And if you want to get people to actually go, oh my gosh, you're a living genius, I would love to sign up with you, then you've got to know what is the real end destination that you're taking your customers to. And most people, they never allow themselves to get crystal clear on the end destination, and they self-sabotage, or they pivot, or they change it 24/7. How many of you have been there? I know some of you. I know you might be doing it right now, where you're going in one direction, you're like, this is it. This is where I'm going to take my clients to the motherland. And then you're like, just kidding. We're going to go over here. And just kidding. We're going to go over here. And nope, we're actually going to go over here. I want you to have a very clear movement message that stands out from the rest. And the only way you're going to get this level of clarity is if you allow yourself to stay. Lauren's like, yep. I'm like, I'm speaking right to you, Lauren. Speak like, and Katie and Linda, like go in one direction, speak to that dream customer and the end destination. And what will happen is you will start to become known for this. So when I first started, I was like, I can help you do this, and 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 I can help you do this. And the minute I started saying, no, my zone of genius is building your movement messaging. My zone of genius is helping you build trailblazing communities. My zone of genius is helping you communicate the offers that you sell, and that is the only three things that you need in order to be successful. My income started doubling and tripling and 10xing to this day when we make easy 100K cash months, because clarity is sexy. When you are confused on your messaging, you don't know who you're speaking to, that is a complete turnoff. It's a complete turnoff. Imagine in dating and you're with a man and the man's like word vomiting on you on every day. Have you ever been on one of those dates before? I have. I remember many, many years ago in New York City, I went on a date with this guy and I was sitting at the bar. We were at this like bar, it was like Midtown, and we were sitting outside and he would not stop talking about things that like I did not care about, that didn't make sense, word vomiting all over me, da 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 da. And then I couldn't stand it. I stood up and walked away and left in the middle of the day. In the middle of while he was talking to me, I stood up and left. blocked, and never spoke to him again. And then I'm in Costa Rica and I meet Robbie, who's this amazing man, and he's so grounded and clear on what he desires and funny and cuts right through the noise, and said to me on our first date, he's like, I don't like your business. What are you like? At the time I was doing a different business. And he's like, I don't like this. And I was like, oh, you know who you are, you know what you desire, and you're very certain on your voice. So I want you to dial this in. If you figured out your zone of genius, I want you to take, and this is for Lauren and other people on this call, because I see your guys' content. I see you on social media. There's another level of confidence and certainty in how you share your work that gets to be up level. And I think this is very hard to see from the inside because I've been there. So what happens when you know what you're talking about? What happens when you figured it out, but then it's still not clicking? This is where I talked about this in the 7-day challenge. And this is something that I teach inside of our headquarters, is communicating your offers like a queen. I'm going to go into this and give you some examples, but let me come into the chat. This is why I joined you. I'm done following with what I thought I should do. I want to be so clear on what I stand for. Yeah, Jojo just joined the headquarters. Welcome to the headquarters, Jojo. I'm so excited that you're here. Linda says, exactly same. Linda, you got to get your booty inside the headquarters, or book like a one-off session or something like that. So you know what you're talking about. Great. But are you doing it with certainty? This is why I say communicating it like a queen. Are you doing it with certainty? Meaning when you share something, do you actually look like the authority? And are you presenting it like the authority for your dream customers? Because you can know what you're talking about, but if you're presenting it as maybe you're second guessing yourself, maybe you're not looking that confident, maybe when you talk about it, it feels, I'm going to go here for a second because I know some of you need to hear this. It's a little love and shove. It feels like you're teaching a friend. I was on the call this weekend with the headquarters client, and I was sharing with her, a lot of your content feels like an influencer. It feels less like somebody would want to buy from you. It feels more like you're entertaining and you want to be friends with your audience. You can be friends with your clients, absolutely. Many of my clients, I've become, actually, I would say a few of my clients I've become friends with, but that's not why you're here. You're here to mentor people. If you wanted to be an influencer, you could do brand deals. If you wanted to be friend zoned and be entertaining, you could do brand deals, you could do UGC, but that's not who you are. You're a mentor. A freedom queen doesn't become a freedom queen because now she wants to go and sit in her throne and like just throw parties. If that was the case, she would just be an entertainer. She would just be the person that comes to the parties and entertains and leaves. And those people don't make a lot of money. So you have to decide, do you want to be the entertainer, the influencer, the friend zone that's cool and everybody likes you? Or do you want to be the freedom queen? The one that people look to and go, wow, she's giving me a lot of good advice. Wow, she's doing this. And so in order to do that, you have to communicate it like a queen. And that means communicating with certainty. This way is the way. And there might be other ways, but this is what I'm going to teach. Confidence, the way that you're presenting yourself. And this doesn't mean that you have to dress up in a certain way or anything like that. This is from an energetic, intentional standpoint. Sometimes there's leaky energy and I see it. I see it in different business owners where I go, you have the messaging, you have the messaging, but now we need to work on your energetics, because when you're showing up with the messaging, it's like, okay, energetically, I don't feel like you're actually bought into the thing that you're teaching. There's something there. This is like real talk. I'm really going here this morning because I wish somebody would have done this for me. Actually, I know I would have skipped and leaped and jumped into bigger oceans if someone had done this for me. I had to discover this on my own. And I did discover it on my own. It was in 2022 when I realized I have the messaging, but now I'm not communicating it like a queen. I'm actually not presenting it in a way that would make people want to buy. And maybe that's because you're still deciding that it's far off. You're still deciding that you're not there yet. One day you're going to be there. What if that was today? What if you flipped this? What if you flipped it today and you said, okay, I'm her now. So how would her now show up? There's a certain level of confidence when you're talking about your offer. Simplicity about your offer. So let's have a little bit of fun. I want you to put your offer in the chat. And I want you to put like what the offer is, just put the end destination of the offer, and I'm going to sell you on your own offer. And I'm going to show you how I would communicate this like a queen. Put your offer in the chat. Just put your offer in the chat. What is your offer? What are you helping people do? What do you help people do? Put it in the chat. I would love to know. I see we have 17 people with this live. Okay. So you help people find love online. This is what, hi Jamie, I see you're here. And if you're silently watching and not saying anything, make sure you say hello in the comments so that I know who's here with us today. So finding love online. If this was my offer, here's what I would do. First, I would show why I'm the authority. And I would make sure that I have the story to back up the thing that I'm teaching. I would make sure that I have the story to back up the thing that I'm teaching, because there are a lot of people in the online space and in the world that are teaching things that they actually suck at. So first thing is I would actually make sure that I am the authority. I have the story to back the thing that I'm teaching. You see Scarlett's here, Amanda's here. Okay, everybody's putting them in the chat now. So first thing is I would, if I was teaching finding love online, I would be teaching or telling stories about times when I found love online. This does not mean that I have to be the expert at love, but it does mean that I've had to have found love online at some point in my life. And I had to have gone through big challenges and big wins and gained a lot of wisdom from it. And so if this were me, here's what I would say. I remember when I was single and I would download all of the dating apps, and it would be like a Friday evening, and I would try to bounce between Tinder, or didn't really want to do that one because that one was all about things that are inappropriate. Wasn't for me, wasn't my vibe. I would open up Bumble because I thought Bumble was maybe a little bit better for dating. I would open up Hinge because apparently the people there I thought wanted to get married. And I would change my profile photos all the time. I would judge myself. Say, oh, no, don't want to show too much skin. Maybe I show a picture with my dog. Maybe I should be with my hobbies that I do. But honestly, I had no idea. I would add different things in my bio because on the new Hinge platform, it said things like, are you looking to have kids? Are you looking to get married? I never knew really which one to put. And then I'd go on dates with guys and I'd feel like no like zing, but I would still keep going on dates with them. I would sit there and listen to them talk. And I thought maybe the love will like grow over time. And eventually I'll just like fall in love with them through exposure and being around them. So the zing will happen. We go on dates and dates and dates, and it would be fine. And then we just kind of ghost each other and stop talking. And then that one would go, and then I would try it again. And after trying so many times, I realized that I wasn't going to find love if I didn't actually work on myself first. because the app is great and it will connect you with people. But if you're not actually connected to yourself, you're not going to feel a connection with someone else. And so I started doing this inner work, and I started like, I had hired a life coach, and I just wanted to start working on myself and who I was being. So I started working on my feminine energy. And I wrote down in one of my journals, I wrote down saying, I actually have a picture of it. This is a true story. I wrote down like exactly the man that I want. You know, I wanted the man that was an entrepreneur, that loves his family, that works really hard, that loves God, that loves working out, that pushes me in my career. And I focused on becoming an energetic match for that person. And so for me, like, I didn't find love online. So this is where if I was just teaching like love, it's or depart, I would teach about, like manifestation and manifesting a partner and setting your heart's desires in writing. And I would say, and that's when I stopped trying. I stopped trying to find love. I stopped going on dates, and that's when I met Robbie. But if I was trying to do the find on love, I would say, and I did meet Robbie on the app, then I would tell that story about how I stopped expecting him to be the one all of the time. I stopped putting so much pressure on myself to be perfect, and I started just being more of me. I stopped wearing things that I thought that was what the man would like, and I started just showing more of my humorous side. I started, for me in Costa Rica, I started wearing just like bikinis around and running around and not trying to look sexy, but just trying to be more of myself. And naturally I attracted this man. And so for you, Jamie, you know, that's my story, right? But if you, Jamie, were doing love online, I want you to tell the stories about like what shifted for you. How did you set up your bio? Here's what I started to do, because when I started to realize that what I actually do is really love myself and be connected with myself, I changed my bio to look like this. And I changed my profile to look like this. And I changed the photos to look like this. And then when I would go on dates with men, I stopped trying to be Little Miss Perfect, and I started being me. And I stopped feeling anxiety around dates, questioning whether or not he's the one. And I just started being myself. And so if your outcome, Jamie, like let's say, Jamie, that you're not in a relationship and you haven't found love, like you actually aren't in a relationship, that's okay. But talk about the times where you have been in love. Talk about the times where you have been in a relationship with someone. Talk about the times where you've left relationships and why you left relationships and how you, after those relationships, went into the dating apps again. If your primary vehicle is using dating apps. And so people miss this a lot. They miss this core piece of your story, your experience is actually the thing that's going to make you the most amount of money. So you can make all the how-to posts, how to set up your profile, how to find the man, how to build the business, how to make money, how to be untriggerable, how to do yoga, how to awaken. But if people don't actually look at you and go, you're the one, they're not going to buy from you. And that's where your unique story comes in. Me telling that story right there, I just bought myself into my own relationship coaching. I'm sitting here going, gosh, should I drop a relationship offer? How to manifest a man if you're an entrepreneur? Like, should I do this? That's what makes you the authority. And you don't have to be, Jamie, you're finding love online. You don't have to be married for 50 years to the same man, blah, 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 to do this. And what I see a lot of people do is they go like, you know, they think, oh, I can't teach that yet because I'm not there. If I didn't teach what I teach today and I had waited so I was making $100,000 a month, I would not be here today. I teach what I teach today, making $100,000 a month. And that's because I've showed up and taught and been so grounded in the story and the authority that I did have in the past that built my authority to where it is today. Put a yes in the chat if you're picking this up, if you're like, oh my God, I needed this. This is priceless. This is worth the monthly price of the membership. Linda, I'm glad you're in the membership. Rochelle here is here. Hey, Ro. Jamie's like, oh my gosh. So I want you to think about your own offer and look at your content and go, am I actually speaking about my own experience in a way that makes me more of a mentor and less of a friend, notice how in that entire sales pitch to you, I didn't say anything like, I wasn't looking for validation from you. I wasn't looking for you to like me. I wasn't even looking for you to buy from me. I wasn't looking for any validation. I was looking for, here's who I am. Here's my authority. Now, at the end, I would have said something like, here's a program I have. Here's what I have going on. Would you like to sign up? And this is why when people come into my DMs, like many of you have actually, I would say 98% of you have purchased something from Freedom Queen. You come into the DMs, you're already in. You're like, done, ready to go. Sign me up. Let's freaking get it. Why? Because I'm specifically using all of my content to show why I'm the authority. Are there any questions coming up on today's Freedom Queen Live? Any questions coming up for you guys? Anything coming up in the chat? I see there's 20 of us here. I am feeling so good. Mara says landing. Rose, yes. Lawrence, yes. Are there any questions coming up around this? I see people are commenting all of our challenge work. Landed, Linda says, amazing. So this is also one of the things that I see happen where you could be making $0 or you could be making 20K months, 50K months, where people start to lose who they are. And they kind of get to this space of like, what am I saying? What's my messaging? What am I doing? What was like, what am I doing when I go to make content? Because they don't actually know their unique movement messaging. And then if you do know the movement messaging, once you actually find it out, they go, how do I actually communicate this? Wait, how do I sell this? Wait, how do I make content around this? You tell your story, you provide specific valuable content, and you move people. That's it. Those are the 3 core components. I needed to hear this. Bridget, Eliza says, hi, Eliza. Lorena. How was your process about self-esteem? I'm not sure what that question is. Could you rephrase that question, please? Eliza says, can you please share a few examples of authority content for the relationship theme? Okay, what makes someone an authority? What makes someone an authority? What makes someone an authority? Let's think about like a Navy SEAL as an example. What makes a Navy SEAL an authority? Like if a Navy SEAL was in a room with you, despite what you might think of like the system, they are going to give off authority, especially if they're a commander, right? If they're a general and they've like done the do. So let's actually examine what makes someone the authority. They have experience. They've done the thing, not just once, but many times, over and over and over again. They've failed. They've learned from it. They've gotten back up. But also, what makes someone else the authority? How they present themselves. And this is where many of you might know what it is that you're teaching on, but you're not presenting yourselves as the authority. The presentation of it. So imagine a Navy SEAL came into my office right now and they had all the experience, but they walked in their sweatpants. Would the authority go up or down? Down. Why? because the way that they're presenting themselves does not match the actual thing that they're doing. Now, let's say they walked into my office. This is just how human psychology works. Everyone's judging you all the time. Like, they're always judging you. This is a good problem to have. And when this clicked for me, I was like, oh, I see where I'm doing things wrong. And this is why I've always quantum leaped in my business. I see this often. Self-awareness. And so then let's say the Navy SEAL comes in dressed up in their uniform, authority goes up. Now let's say they come into my office and they're like, really low energy and hey, Bridge, and I'd be like, what the heck? I have more authority than you right now. Authority goes down. Now they come into my office. Good morning, Bridget. Here's what we're doing today. Here's what we have going on. Da, da, da. I need you to do this. This is what we're doing. What would you like me to do, Queen? What's what we're doing? Authority goes up. So people are always watching you. They're judging you, and this is a good thing. And this is one of the pieces too, again, where you have great messaging. It's so good. You figured it out, but people aren't buying from you because they don't see you as the authority. They don't actually believe that you can help them. Oh my God, I think I just saved someone's life and business today. Put a yes in the chat if you're like, I did not know on a Monday morning I was about to see the light of day. You're the Navy SEAL who has the experience, who knows what you're here to do, but you're walking into the office with low energy, unalignment, not there. Now, here's something where I see people get this tripped up, and they'll make this excuse and they'll say things like, oh, well, maybe I need to dress up and I need to do this and I need to. No, what you need to do is have an alignment in your movement messaging, which contributes to a couple different things: how you present yourself, how you speak, the topics that you're talking about, and your experience. Let me give you an example. Let me blow your mind. Let's say a very calm therapist walked into my office, and this person, let's say like a Brene Brown. Let's say like Brene Brown walked into my office. Would Brene Brown lose or gain authority if she came into my office dressed like a Navy SEAL, yelling at me and telling me what to do? She would lose authority because her movement messaging in all the different facets that I work on with clients